so much, everyone, for staying with us on The Verdict, your election coverage program on Channels Television, where we bring you all the angles from preparation to the process of election and what the politicians are saying. Ladia Keredoluwale, Ijomo Onyato, your host on the program. I'm just assisting them to do this bit of the show. So let's get to our Abuja studio and let's hear from the politicians and what they're saying about the campaign rallies and the issues thrown up. I have Akin Oshuntokun, former presidential advisor and a PDP, one of the spokesperson of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. And with him is Farouk Aliyu, a former minority leader of the House of Representatives. He is also an APC chieftain. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming right on the show. Let me get you started, gentlemen, on this lane. With the kind of crowd that we're seeing today, you politicians will say crowds sometimes are not true reflection of the popularity of a candidate. Mr. Aliyu, let me start with you. From the crowd that you're seeing from your opponent's side, is your party a bit worried?
No, absolutely no. Because if crowd is anything to go by, you remember the 2015 Jonathan's rally in Kano was huge, extremely huge. But he couldn't make 25% in Kano. So to us, crowd, yes, crowd matters, but that's not the determining factor, absolutely. Your programs, what can you do, what have you done, those are things that will be taken into consideration, I'm sure.
It appears your candidate of the APC is not talking about restructuring at all. We've not heard him speak about the issue of restructuring, but a lot of Nigerians are talking about it. Today, the candidate of the PDP did say, trust me, I will restructure Nigeria. In fact, he's being quoted in some quarters to say, on May 29, should he win the election, he will begin to restructure Nigeria. What do you make of that kind of commitment?
Well, you see, honestly, probably I don't blame him. The candidate of PDP probably needs to study the constitution of this country. You just don't go about talking about the restructuring just for political reasons. You cannot just, by mere pronouncement, that I want to restructure. Now, there are processes. And I'm telling you, all those people talking about restructuring, it could have been done. It could still be done now. Let any member of the PDP or anybody who believes in restructuring put up a bill. You need to take this into National Assembly. So because Atiku says, I will restructure, that's just for politics. Now, when it comes to us, we kept talking about the three things we promised Nigerians, and we are sticking to that. We talk about that, fight against corruption, the economy, and securing the country. So we are staying on that. Restructuring to us is not in the fourth banner. And I'm telling you, to restructure this country the way they are talking about it is not possible. And you'll see that. At the end of the day, let the PDP members put up a bill to see if that can happen. It won't happen, certainly. Let's agree that we are this country, we're Nigerians who believe in the country. When you talk about restructuring, what are you going to restructure? That what? That you cannot
Mr.
be a Nigerian,
your party,
you're
talking as if you've never started talking about restructuring. Your party set up a committee on true federalism. Your party, the APC, headed by the governor of Kaduna State.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it that your party no longer believes in that?
It is not part of what we have promised Nigerians now. We've not promised to restructure this country. No, we have not. We are going to continue with what we have started. Now, if somewhere along the line it's the wish of Nigerians to restructure, then let somebody put up a bill. But for now, we are not going to play into the hands of the so-called people that are talking about restructuring. That's why he went to Lagos, because there are some people who think that, yes, restructure. You will see. It's politics and nothing more.
All right. Let's allow Mr. Oshuntokun to come into the conversation. Mr. Oshuntokun, the APC was in one of your strongholds, Port Harcourt, South region, a stronghold of the People's Democratic Party, traditionally speaking. Are you weary of that kind of outing that the APC had in River State today?
Look, Shehu, I don't like, I feel there's something trivial about talking about crowd at rallies. You know, you raised a very important point. which I think requires us to talk more about, especially because it's one of the articles of faith of in the policy document of my principal. Now you can see what we say about APC. Now you see the ambiguity that you pointed out. Now my brother here, with whom you ambushed me, was saying that they didn't promise, they don't have it, they are not going to do it. That is not correct. In their manifesto, in 2015, the manifesto, they have to, unless maybe they have changed the manifesto, I wouldn't know. But it is one of the priority areas. But you just adding, this is typical, this is the problem that Nigeria has suffered under the APC government. Saying one thing and doing another thing. Twisting things, contradicting themselves, But let's leave it at that. Now, really, you see, the thing he was attributing, he said something about the capacity of whoever is the president to push, to promote that agenda. Now, as a matter of fact, he has highlighted one area that restructuring is going to take care of, and that is the devolution and decentralization of power. We don't need the kind of all-powerful center that we have in Nigeria today. You cannot develop Nigeria from Abuja better than those who are at the state level. So that the logic is as simple as that. But more to the point, right? And this is why the race to get to the center becomes, it has become almost the most potent destabilizing factor in Nigerian politics. The race to get there tends towards desperation. It shouldn't be like that. But the reason it attracts that kind of, obsessive attention is that the powers are too lopsidedly, domiciled in the presidency, and it has become a source of destabilization of the country itself, because it has too much powers than it can even effectively discharge. That's why you see the gaps. So all these things play together. But there is no mystery or myth about restructuring. The thing that people don't get is restructuring is a technical social word. What it means simply is the redistribution of powers between the first and second tier of government. That is it. Now, you can then, if you agree, on that principle, from which we have deviated, for a long period of time. Deviated from, federalism, which is going to be the result of the restructuring we are talking about. We have deviated from it for a long time, and we have seen in our experience that it is not serving the country. Up till 1966, the golden phase of Nigeria's development is from 1956 to 1966, and that is attributable in large measure to the federalism that we had at that time, the decentralization and devolution of power. Look, the leader of the APC, right, whom by convention should have assumed the leadership at the center as prime minister. The center was so inconsequential that he chose to stay back in Kaduna. I'm talking of Ahmadu Bello. So you see, this is restructuring really shouldn't be a partisan agenda. As I said, you look, that you don't defend an accident. Nobody prepared Nigeria to go from 4 regions in 1966 to 36, feeding bottle states that we have today. It is attributable to military dictatorship. And they created those states not as unit of development. Some of them were created on such trivial reasons as somebody being the girlfriend of the military dictator. A military dictator will just wake up one morning and announce that they have created 6 states.
If I may quickly butt in here, one of the fears and the criticism coming on the issues of restructuring is the trust, whether or not your candidate will do it and how he will do it. Those are some of the criticism that say, look, you cannot trust him to restructure Nigeria. Those are the criticisms coming from your opposition.
Listen, Shehu. You are falling into the same mistake that Adamu, although he was correct. Look, the president will drive the agenda. An elected president is not a dictator. But by virtue of his position, is the most vantageously placed politician and political leader in Nigeria to drive that kind of a review of the constitutional and the constitutional review agenda. That is the utility. Atiku cannot come and legislate, immediately he wins the election and assume office, say that he is restructuring Nigeria. That is not, that is laughable. The constitutional process that, you will need to embark upon. But the point is this: if a president, the kind of presidency we have in Nigeria today, if the president is committed to a certain agenda faithfully, right, he stands the best chance of being able to do so. It's a policy proposal. And of course, when he made that policy proposal, he's conscious of course, that, look, there's a certain process through which you can do it. You can do it by what they call, of course, if you have a total breakdown of the system, they can decree a sovereign national conference. But under the constitutional democracy that we have today, the process that is why you have to market it as a consensus agenda. And of course, contrary to what Farouk is saying, it is in the APC manifesto. You mentioned the fact that El-Rufai had a committee. Were they doing that in futility? I mean, if that is the way the government operates, that's another sad commentary. If you get a group of people together, either are you deceiving us or are you deceiving us? Because that is what you are saying that effort amounted to. If you did not have the intention, if you don't have the intention of following it through, then why initiate it? Why put it in your manifesto?
Right. Mr. Oshutokun, let's bring again Mr. Farouk Aliyu into the conversation. You ran away, just a moment. Mr. Oshutokun ran away from the question I posed. In political conversations, the issues of candidate popularity is very important, by the way, Mr. Oshutokun. But let me quickly ask you, Mr. Farouk. The fear of rigging seems to be in the heart of the PDP. They believe that your party is going to rig this election.
Well, let me just make two comments before I come to this. Now, you see, I agree with him when he said there has to be a national consensus and it should be a bipartisan thing. But so that brings to the issue of deceit from the PDP. When the presidential candidate will come in public today, that I shall restructure the country, I promise to restructure the country. There are processes. So that is just politics. So honestly, they should just take it back. And look, the El-Rufai report, yes, it's true. Our party said we should talk about restructuring. Yes, a committee was set up by, headed by El-Rufai, and they also came with the report. But the party has not taken a stand. What I'm saying, it is not part of what now we are promoting. We have promoted these three things, and we still continue with that. Now, back to the rigging issue. You see, PDP are extremely jittery because they have seen. They've gone around the country the way we have. They know that they cannot win this election. So what do they start? By discrediting the election. You remember, even before it started, you remember some days back, or 2-3 weeks back, when President Obasanjo started discrediting this election. When at every time, members of the PDP will talk about rigging. What is the basis of rigging? What have we done to show that we're going to rig this election? And remember, this biometric, this card reader, which helped us to come to power, is in fact improved. Where now you will have your thumbprint, it will be confirmed, and there will be monitors, there will be agents. I just can't see how this election will be rigged. And look, come Saturday, you will see that there is no involvement, no hand of this government in ensuring that APC wins election. You see, Mr. President keeps saying, look, let Nigerians be given the dignity and the honor to choose persons of their choices. So how more democratic can we be?
What are your thoughts about this election?
So we are telling the people of this country that, look, let everybody vote for people of their choices. We want them to vote for us, but if somewhere along the line, the people of this country do not agree with us, so be it. I am telling you there is no plan for rigging. Absolutely, it's absolute nonsense. We're not going to rig this election. We shall not attempt to rig because
do you think, Mr. Aliyu, Mr. Farouk, Do you think that your party is popular in this very season?
Our party is extremely, extremely popular. In fact, I'm just coming out from a meeting. From our war room, there is no state in this country where we're not going to win. I'm telling you. All the states, there is not a single state that APC will not win. And my brother,
just hold on.
Aki has been my brother for a long time.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to offer him, I'm going to offer... Okay.
The offering, keep the offering for a moment. Don't make it public yet. Because the outcome of the election will determine whether you can make an offer or not. Mr. Oshidokun, your party, he said that your party is jittery, and your party has been talking about fear of rigging. The APC came out to say, look, international community, step aside, do not interfere with this process. What are your thoughts on the ongoing?
Well, you know, when the government starts saying that, you know that government, you should not take their words with regards to conducting a free and fair election. You shouldn't take them, you know, at face value. Now, you know, Farouk said APC will win in every state. The meaning of that statement has to be rigging. If he honestly believes that APC will win every state. So it's a Freudian slip of saying that they are going to rig the election. But we are going to stop them from doing so. Now, you see, if anybody has been showing panic and nervousness, it's not us, it is the APC people. Otherwise, there will have been no need for El-Rufai to make the kind of, imbecilic, you know, the kind of statement he made, threatening the international community, you know, with murder and mayhem. But what even makes it worse was that he was backed up by the president of Nigeria in what he said. So, and of course, because of the excitement of Kano on Sunday, where the whole of Kano turned out to welcome us to that city. The president was in Zamfara, and he was telling the people at the rally that they should stop, that he knows that many of them are farmers. He's advising them to go and stock up on food items because there is likely to be violence and problem. This is what the president of Nigeria said. Let me finish. You will respond.
Go ahead.
We have him. There is a recording to that effect. The presidential candidate who understands the language very well has made the allegation. It has not been rebutted. So I don't know what you mean by saying no. So, by the way, as I said, you saw the statement that was released by them, by their strategic communications director, to, you know, telling the America and Europe how to do their job, saying, look, it's getting to a ridiculous extent.
We're out of time for this conversation. But Mr. Farouk was saying, no. You have 10 seconds to say something to that no. 10 seconds, please. Please help me. 10 seconds.
Let me first of all respond. Okay, it is not true. The president never said that stock food, that there will be violence. It's not true. And I want him to go back to his principal who understands the language. No. What the president said, look, we have got 3 years of bumper harvest.
My director is on my neck. So we're out of time for this segment.
He wants people to go.
Ali Farouk, thank you so much. We're out of time for this conversation. Former minority leader of the House of Reps and APC member Farouk Aliyu, and Akin Oshuntokun, former presidential advisor and one of the spokesperson of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. That's it on this side of the divide. Tasio, let's get back to Ladi and Ijoma.